The unbreakable adaptability. The Axoni Confederation ruled over 3,000 star systems with an efficiency that bordered on the artistic. Their vast neural networks calculated the subjugation of civilizations with the same precision they used to track the movements of stars. In 17,000 cycles of recorded history, they had never encountered a failure. Their military doctrine was simple: assess, infiltrate, dominate, assimilate. It had worked on species from crystalline, silicon-based hive minds to gaseous entities that communicated through electromagnetic pulses. Commander Vextrol stood on the observation deck of the Dominion-class warship Inevitable Conquest, his 4 primary eyes fixed on the blue-green world rotating lazily below. Earth, as the inhabitants called it. His secondary eyes focused on the holographic display, showing the various metrics of the primitive civilization. Technological development inconsistent. He noted to his second-in-command, Shivera, capable of rudimentary space travel, but still dependent on fossil fuels. Nuclear capabilities present, but limited. Social cohesion fragmented by arbitrary territorial divisions. Shivera's skin rippled in the Axoni equivalent of amusement. Another Class 3 civilization. They'll be serving the Confederation before their next solar rotation is complete. Vextrol wasn't so certain. Something about the data bothered him. Their developmental curve is unusual. Most species take thousands of cycles to progress from basic tool use to spaceflight. These humans have done it in less than 30 of their orbital periods. An anomaly. Surely, Shivera dismissed. Perhaps they discovered ancient technology they barely understand. Perhaps. Vextrol's outer membrane pulsed with uncertainty. Initiate standard first contact protocols. Let's observe their response. The Axoni had conquered enough worlds to perfect the art of first contact. A small delegation would land in an isolated area, demonstrate overwhelming technological superiority, demand submission, and be met with either immediate surrender or futile resistance that would be crushed. As an example, when the delegation landed in what humans called Montana, they expected the standard reaction: fear, awe, possibly religious reverence. What they didn't expect was curiosity. The human representatives, a mix of scientists, military personnel, and government officials, asked questions, endless, probing questions, about propulsion systems, about the composition of their environmental suits, about the neural translators they used to communicate, about the Confederation's political structure, about their biology. They are studying us, reported the delegation leader, visibly unsettled, as if we are specimens rather than conquerors. When presented with the formal declaration of Axoni sovereignty, the humans didn't tremble or rage. They requested time to consult with various Earth governments. This was, of course, a standard delaying tactic that the Axoni had encountered before. It was always met with a demonstration of power. The Axoni vaporized a small uninhabited island as a show of force. The humans appeared appropriately impressed, but still they asked for more time. This was not in the protocol. Vextrol, growing impatient, authorized the next phase: limited military occupation of strategic locations. Dropships descended on major cities across the planet. The humans responded with primitive projectile weapons and nuclear-tipped missiles that the Axoni energy shields easily deflected. The resistance was expected, even welcome. It allowed the Axoni to demonstrate the futility of opposition. What wasn't expected was how quickly the humans adapted. Within 3 planetary rotations, human scientists had analyzed Axoni shield frequencies and modified their weapons to penetrate them. By the 5th rotation, they had reverse-engineered captured Axoni communication devices. By the 8th, they had infiltrated the Axoni tactical network. How is this possible? Vextrol demanded, his membrane fluctuating with alarm as reports of Axoni casualties began to flood in. Their technology is centuries behind ours. It appears, Commander, Shivera replied, her voice modulated to convey extreme concern, that they don't innovate linearly. They adapt, exponentially. The humans weren't just fighting back, they were learning. Every Axoni technology captured became the basis for a new human innovation. Every tactical pattern identified became the foundation for a counter-strategy. Every biological sample collected was studied for weaknesses. When the Axoni deployed autonomous combat drones, the humans hijacked their control systems within days. When the Axoni used atmospheric dispersal units to release psychotropic compounds designed to induce docility, the humans developed filters and countermeasures within hours. When the Axoni attempted to manipulate Earth's weather patterns to cause natural disasters, the humans somehow turned the technology against them, creating targeted storm systems directly over Axoni forward bases. They shouldn't be capable of this, Vextrol insisted as he ordered yet another tactical retreat. No species develops this rapidly under pressure. It defies all known evolutionary models. A human transmission interrupted the command channel, broadcasted on frequencies that should have been impenetrable to Earth technology. The face of a human female appeared on all displays throughout the ship. "This is Dr. Elena Vasquez, representing the United Earth Defense Council," she said, her expression calm but determined. "We have analyzed your invasion patterns across multiple fronts and have determined your strategic limitations. While your technology is impressive, your tactical doctrine is rigid and predictable. We are now counterattacking on all fronts. We recommend you withdraw immediately to prevent further casualties." Vextrol's membrane paled in shock. Impossible. They couldn't have broken our encryption that quickly. Another human face appeared alongside Dr. Vasquez, a male with darker coloration. "I'm General John Way. We've successfully neutralized 60% of your ground forces and disabled 27 of your orbital weapons platforms. We are now deploying our newly developed phase shift missiles, which will bypass your remaining shields." As if to punctuate his statement, the inevitable conquest shuddered violently as multiple impacts registered across its hull. "Hull breach in sectors 7 through 12, the ship's neural interface reported. Shield generators failing. Quantum stabilizers offline." "How?" Vextrol demanded. "How?" The answer came not from his officers, but from yet another human transmission, this one from a younger male with pale skin and unusual facial hair. "Hey there, Dr. Sam Riley, Quantum Mechanics Division," the human said with a disturbing facial expression that exposed its teeth, what humans called a smile. "Turns out your quantum shield technology is based on a fascinating principle we've been theorizing about for decades. Once we captured a functioning generator, well, let's just say we made some improvements. Thanks for the tech. We'll be keeping it." The audacity was unprecedented. The humans weren't just defending. They were innovating, adapting Axoni technology to their own purposes, and they were doing it faster than the Axoni could respond. This was not how conquest was supposed to work. "All ships, full retreat," Vextrol finally ordered, his voice subdued. "Withdraw to the outer system boundary and establish a defensive perimeter." As the Axoni fleet pulled back, leaving behind disabled ships and captured ground forces, Vextrol struggled to comprehend what had happened. Every invasion model, every simulation, every historical precedent had indicated that humans would be easily subjugated. Instead, they had not only resisted but had begun to turn Axoni technology against them. "We need to reassess," he told the War Council when they reconvened in the safety of the outer system. "These humans are different." "Different how?" demanded High Commander Zexfile, the membrane around his primary sensory cluster pulsating with anger. "They are primitive, fractious, and technologically inferior. They should have submitted within days." "With respect, High Commander," Vextrol replied, "I believe we have fundamentally misunderstood human psychology and their capacity for adaptation. They don't think like us. They don't innovate like us. They don't fight like us." "Explain," Zexfal ordered. "The Axoni advanced through careful, methodical progress. Each technological development builds upon centuries of research and refinement. Humans, they leap forward in chaotic bursts. They make intuitive connections that defy logical progression. Most importantly, they accelerate under pressure. Impossible. No species evolves faster when threatened. That defies the laws of development. And yet, Shivera interjected, the evidence suggests that humans do exactly that. Their historical records show that their greatest technological advancements occurred during periods of conflict or crisis, where other species collapse under pressure. Humans transform. The War Council chamber fell silent as the implications sank in. The Axoni Confederation had never retreated, never failed in a conquest. Until now. We will need to reconsider our approach, HFY finally conceded. Prepare a comprehensive analysis of human psychology, social structures, and adaptive capacities. We will develop a new strategy, one that accounts for their unusual traits. As the council dispersed, Vextrol remained at the observation portal, staring at the distant blue-green world. The humans had surprised them, but the Confederation had conquered thousands of worlds. They would adapt their approach, develop new technologies, implement more sophisticated strategies. What Vextrol didn't yet understand was that in the time it would take the Axoni to develop their new approach, humanity would have already evolved beyond it. The universe was about to learn a fundamental truth. Humans don't lose because they never stop changing the rules of the game. The unstoppable evolution. 6 solar cycles had passed since the Axoni Confederation's failed initial invasion of Earth. The War Council chamber aboard the Supremacy-class command vessel Eternal Dominion hummed with tense energy as the highest-ranking members of the Confederation gathered to address what had become known simply as the human problem. High Commander Zexval's membrane had darkened with age and stress, the luminescent patterns that once signaled his authority now pulsing irregularly. The comprehensive analysis is complete, he announced. And it is concerning. The holographic display in the center of the chamber activated, showing a 3-dimensional model of human neural pathways compared to those of 20 other conquered species. Humans possess neural plasticity that exceeds any species we have encountered, explained Chief Scientist Nexora, her slender appendages gesturing at specific nodes in the display. Their brains physically restructure in response to challenges. Where other species have fixed neural architectures, humans continually rewire themselves. More troubling, added Tactical Overseer Kexrun, is their social adaptation. After our withdrawal, we expected their global unity to fracture. Instead, it has strengthened. They have formed a unified defense coalition while maintaining their cultural diversity, a paradox that defies our understanding of societal evolution. Vextrol, now promoted to strategic director following his experiences with Earth, stepped forward. Most concerning is their technological progress. Using salvaged Axoni technology as a foundation, they have advanced their capabilities by an estimated 300 cycles in just 6 solar periods. They now possess rudimentary interplanetary capabilities and have established defensive outposts throughout their solar system. The council chamber erupted in agitated membrane fluctuations, the Axoni equivalent of alarmed murmuring. We have 3 options, Sextal stated, silencing the council. First, we can attempt an overwhelming military strike, committing our full fleet to Earth's destruction. Second, we can implement a containment strategy, preventing humans from expanding beyond their solar system, while we develop more advanced subjugation methods. Third, he paused, his membrane pulsing with reluctance. We can classify Earth as a sovereignty exception and leave this system permanently. The third option had been implemented only twice in the Confederation's history, both times for species that pose more risk than benefit to assimilate. It was an admission of failure that the prideful Axoni found almost unbearable to contemplate. Containment is impractical, Vextrol argued. Their rate of advancement suggests they would break any blockade within decades, and complete destruction. His membrane rippled with distaste. The resources required would leave our core worlds vulnerable. Then we must find another way, declared Zexval. I propose a 4th option. Simultaneous deployment of multiple subjugation vectors. biological, technological, and psychological warfare implemented concurrently. No species, no matter how adaptable, can withstand attacks on all fronts simultaneously. The Council approved the plan unanimously. The Axoni would not retreat. They would evolve their conquest strategies just as humans evolved their defenses. The multi-pronged assault began 1 Earth year later. The biological attack came first. Engineered pathogens designed to target human genetic markers, released simultaneously in population centers across the planet. The Axoni had spent cycles perfecting these bioweapons, making them subtle enough to spread widely before symptoms appeared. Within weeks, however, something unexpected happened. Human medical researchers not only identified the pathogens but began using the engineered organisms' advanced genetic structures to accelerate their own biotechnology. What the Axoni intended as a weapon became, in human hands, a catalyst for medical breakthroughs. They're using our bioweapons to cure their existing diseases, reported a stunned Nexora. Cancers, genetic disorders, viral infections, all being treated with therapies derived from our attack pathogens. Their medical technology has advanced by at least a century. The technological assault fared no better. The Axoni deployed quantum disruptors designed to destabilize Earth's electronic infrastructure, devices that should have rendered human technology useless without damaging physical structures. Instead, humans rapidly developed quantum-shielded systems, and within months, had reverse-engineered the disruptors into what they called quantum field generators that actually enhanced their computational capabilities. They've achieved quantum computing breakthroughs that took us generations. Kexrun reported, his membrane pale with shock. And they're implementing the technology faster than we can develop countermeasures. The psychological campaign, perhaps the most sophisticated of the Axoni strategies, involved subtle manipulation of human information networks designed to sow discord and distrust among Earth's nations. The Axoni had studied human history, targeting historical divisions and amplifying existing tensions. For a brief period, it seemed to work. Political tensions increased, international cooperation wavered, and the unified defense strategy showed signs of fracturing. Then, something remarkable happened. Humans recognized the manipulation. They've developed what they call cognitive security protocols. Vextrol explained to the increasingly desperate War Council. Information systems that detect and flag external influence attempts. They've turned our psychological operations into a global lesson in critical thinking. Their population is now more united and more skeptical of divisive information than before our attempt. This defies all rational models. Zexval's membrane pulsed erratically with frustration. No species should be able to counter multiple simultaneous attack vectors, much less turn them to their advantage. It's as if adversity itself strengthens them. That, said Vextrol quietly, is precisely what makes them unlike any species we have encountered. Where others seek stability, humans thrive on change. Where others break under pressure, humans adapt. Where others see threats, humans see opportunities. Before the Council could respond, an alert sounded throughout the Eternal Dominion. A human vessel had been detected approaching the Axoni fleet's position, a single ship broadcasting on all Axoni communication frequencies. They can't possibly have reached us, Kexrun protested. Our position is 16 light hours from Earth, and we've detected no jump signatures. Yet the ship continued its approach, its design unlike anything the Axoni had seen before, sleek, asymmetrical, with strange energy signatures that the Confederation's sensors struggled to categorize. Incoming transmission, the neural interface announced. The holographic display shifted, showing a human female with dark skin and silver-streaked hair, dressed in what appeared to be a military uniform. "This is Admiral Maya Chen of the Earth Defense Fleet," she said calmly. "We've been aware of your position for some time, as well as your recent attempts to destabilize our world. We've chosen to make direct contact rather than respond in kind." "How did you reach us?" demanded Zexval, membrane flaring with indignation. "This is impossible." Admiral Chen smiled slightly. We call it the Alcubierre-Krasnikov drive. It creates a localized space-time bubble that allows effective faster-than-light travel without violating relativistic principles. One of many innovations we've developed since our last encounter. What do you want? Vextrol asked, recognizing the significance of what the humans had achieved. They hadn't just adapted to Axoni technology. They had moved beyond it. To offer terms, Chen replied. Not surrender, coexistence. We understand the Axoni Confederation better now. Your biological, technological, and psychological warfare attempts provided valuable insights into your civilization. The audacity was breathtaking. The humans were treating the Axoni, conquerors of thousands of worlds, as equals, or perhaps even as inferiors. We have no interest in conquest, Chen continued, but we will not be conquered. You've seen our response to your first invasion and to your recent multi-pronged attack. Both times, we've grown stronger. Consider carefully what a third attempt might create. The transmission ended, leaving the War Council in stunned silence. The human ship maintained its position, its very existence a testament to how profoundly the Axoni had underestimated this species. They're offering peace, Vextrol finally said, from a position of strength they didn't possess a few cycles ago. And they're warning us, quite explicitly, that further conflict will only accelerate their advancement. Preposterous, Kexrun sputtered. One ship, one dry system, does not make them our equals. Doesn't it? Vextrol challenged. They reversed our bioweapons into medical breakthroughs. They transformed our quantum disruptors into computational advances. They converted our psychological warfare into societal cohesion tools. And now they've developed independent faster-than-light travel technology that our sensors can barely comprehend. What do you think will happen if we force them to become a true wartime civilization? The question hung in the chamber like a physical presence. For the first time in remembered history, the Axoni Confederation faced not just resistance, but the possibility that they had encountered a species with greater adaptive potential than their own. We will consider the human proposal, Zexval finally said, his membrane subdued. Establish a formal diplomatic channel and inform them that the Confederation is open to discussing terms of coexistence. As the council dispersed, Vextrol approached the observation portal, staring at the distant human vessel. It was so small against the vastness of space, representing a species that occupied a single solar system in a galaxy of billions. Yet in the span of what the Axoni would consider merely a moment in cosmic time, these humans had forced the mighty Confederation to consider something it had never offered another species: genuine diplomatic relations. They don't lose, he murmured to himself, because they transform every defeat into an opportunity for growth. They don't just adapt to their environment. They adapt their environment to themselves. The universe had learned a fundamental truth. Humans could not be conquered because the very act of trying to conquer them made them stronger. They were not undefeatable because they never failed. They were undefeatable because failure itself was merely another tool in their remarkable evolutionary arsenal. And this, Vextrol realized, was just the beginning of humanity's journey among the stars.